Good evening and welcome. My name is Denise Williams. I am your financial coach. We want to walk you through the step by step process of how to clear your debt and clear your mind. We want to give you the tools, we want to give you the guidance so that you feel comfortable in doing the right thing. So, here we go. Of course, I am the coach and I help you organize your money and retire 5 years or more sooner. Okay. Now, you may have seen this gentleman a lot, many times, but I just love showing everybody my inspiration. And if you, the funny thing is, I love him. He's my inspiration, but he's also the reason why I went into so much debt because there's a lot of medical challenges, a lot. And so, as a mommy, what else am I going to do? So, to help me help you traverse this journey through debt, I want to bring on my co host, Miss Bridget Buckner. How are you?
I am doing great. Good to be
Um,
here, Denise.
yes, and so you know my little one, and
I
you know
do.
some of the challenges. And so I really want to encourage the parents out there who you have to finance so many medical issues, okay? And so this is what I want you to understand: there's help, there's hope, okay? And so this is what we're going to introduce to you. So as I said, we were in and out of medical treatment. If you don't know what this is, he's not listening to music. This is what you call an audiology test because his ear passage, his eardrums are a little smaller than the average child. So we always have to be checking if he's hearing. So of course that costs. So we want you to understand that even as you're clearing your way through debt, you want to set financial priorities and you want to do problem solving. The challenge with most of us, our problem solving happens when we're in the spiral and we're just stressed out and it's just miserable. Okay? So we want to give you some tools. So when you're dealing with debt, you want to know where your money goes, but you're also coping with financial stress. So we want you to face your reality in a way that makes sense for you. Okay? Um and if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel stress and anxiety, this is where you're going to reach out for a coach because you want to gain control of your finances, right? And of course, sometimes the debt can be so heavy you're not sleeping, you have self esteem issues, and it impacts your energy, right? So you may be angry, ashamed, fearful, and then, of course, tension creates arguments between people, and it may impact your depression and anxiety. So the stress of debt and other financial issues leaves you feeling depressed and anxious. Okay, so we want you to understand that we're clear. Okay, if the bills are piling up, you may not be able to concentrate. However, as we go along and we bring back Miss Bridge, we're going to show you why 1 hour a day can change your life. Okay, and we want you to be very careful because we don't want you to have worsening mental health problems.
Hmm.
Yes. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you are so stressed out over debt, it goes into other financial problems. Okay. So my position is, our position, having a family financial plan can help lessen the mental stress of debt. We want you to focus on self care. Only 2%, 18% of people right now who are responsible for their family care for themselves. And only 40% of caregivers have family members that give positive decisions. And so we are encouraging you to get social support. You want to get good sources of emotional and social support, family members, friends, but coaching, online sources. Now, we just want to put debt in perspective because we want to share what's happening outside of Jamaica. So in Canada, household debt is 177% of disposable income. Okay. That is crazy, right? Managing cash flow. You see here 27% of Canadians are borrowing to pay for food. Okay. Over in England, if you are single, the cost of living is so high, yeah, that 1 in 4 persons are worried about covering the cost of their weekly shopping, their food bill. Okay. So I don't want you to feel embarrassed about your debt. Debt is reality. When my son was sick, I pretty much ran up $10 million in debt. Okay. So this is not a pretty thing. So we want you to build a financial plan. We're going to give you some ideas on the debt side, but then we're going to close out on the income side because Miss Bridget, she is here to help you as well. We are on your money team. Okay? All right, here we go. So what we're saying is, how do you overcome financial stress? How do you overcome the debt stress? So of course you should implement and track your progress. My favorite tool for that is WiseFi. Yes, and this is something I encourage every client to sign up for. It will make a difference in your life. So what I want to introduce you to is I will be hosting in a few weeks how to fast forward to debt freedom. It is the best debt elimination program you have ever seen. We will be launching it in a few weeks. Okay. So you might feel like you're capable of more. You can get out of debt, stay out of debt, but you don't know how to do it quickly, right? Because in this affordable online coaching, when I say affordable, Bridge, I'm talking about 25 US a week, What do you think of that? Hello, I just lost you, Miss Bridge. This group coaching is 25 US a week. What do you think of that?
Can you can hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yes, I was trying to listen in. Okay. Yes. I think that's, Denise, the biggest cost is education. If you look
Yes.
at people's life, it is
Yes.
your food bill,
Yes.
your housing bill,
Yes.
and your education bill. These are some of the big ticket
Exactly.
items in life, and it's not cheap. And
No.
if you, a lot of people get education and they don't get the access that they need, or
Right.
sometimes the education, they don't make the application of the education. And the fastest way to get application is mentorship and coaching. And if you look at high powered and high performers, um,
Yes.
corporate CEOs, the Oprahs, the Elon Musks, the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Michael Leachins, the you name the top producers. I bet they have a coach. In fact, not bet they have a coach. I know they have a coach.
Exactly.
Oprah has 7 coaches, life
Wow.
coaches in different areas.
Wow.
7.
7.
I know other friends of mine who are not Oprah, they're corporate executives, and they have 3 or 4 coaches. Some people have a coach for their finances, some have a coach for their relationships, some have a coach for their career, some have a coach for investment, finance. So you can have more than one coach for self-development, coach for emotional, something you had to get over, different things. But it's
Right.
important, coaching to handle success. You'd be
Yes.
surprised with things.
Yes.
Coaching for confidence, coaching for
Yes.
self-belief, coaching
Oh
to get
my
rid of
God.
negative
Yes.
thinking. People pay for someone to listen to them and give them guidance all the time because you just can't get to the next level sometimes by yourself. And so
Absolutely.
these coaches can cost 2, 3, 5, 10, $20,000 US.
Yes.
People can go to group coaching sessions, pay to go to some guru's house for a weekend, and you have to pay 10 grand US to do that, and you find your own airfare and all that to go to a weekend retreat and pay 10, 15, $20,000 to see Tony Robbins or to see TD Jakes or to see, for some elite leadership or elite thing. So for you to be a professional, Denise, I'm telling you my honest opinion. You asked this question on the spot, and I'm just thinking of coaching. What does that mean to me? And if you're a professional financial advisor, if you are a professional debt counseling coach, if you are also someone that has all these extra add-on skills that would be of value to anyone who you coach in one area, they'll get a spillover from some of the knowledge you have in other areas, and you're offering coaching for $25 just because you are launching this project, this awareness project to get people in. Your coaching services are worth thousands of dollars, and I don't think people understand what happens when people are educating, like you're
Yes.
educating and launching
Yes.
projects
Yes.
to get people aware, because you want to serve your nation, because you're working in the courts. And I know you've shared some things, the heartache you feel when you see how people are suffering with their backs in the corner because they just don't have the knowledge, the skill, or the resources to help themselves. They're court appointed now. You get a chance to help them and influence change for them. And so I really applaud your efforts in these educational webinars that you do. And I don't think people understand, if somebody's giving you coaching for $25 worth $25,000, I think it is extremely good value, and I think it is a really good initiative on your part to bring awareness to this important area and help to destigmatize, the fear that people have and the shame that goes along with debt. Debt happens to everybody, and you're either going to stay in debt and be miserable, or you're going to find a way to get help and redeem yourself and be proud of yourself and learn some things that maybe you could turn around and help somebody, just like you are doing that for these people here. So Denise, I think that this is an amazing offer,
Yes.
and
Thank you.
I think it's awesome. In fact, I might just do this course just because I think the information will help me to help others as well, and probably give me some insight I don't yet have, to stay out of debt, and
Yes.
I do have debt. So,
Yes.
luckily it's manageable debt, but, you want to get out of debt and stay out of debt and help people too.
Yes. So in this 4-week session, and it's $25 a week, we're going to help you. So let me run through what we're going to be covering in the 4 weeks so you know what you are getting. Okay, here we go.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
All right, because it is the best debt elimination program you've seen. So we're
Good.
going to determine your debt and your financial freedom dates. So what we're going to ask persons to do is, in week 1, come with honesty. Okay? Come and share what you have. You can use a spreadsheet, you can back up an envelope, but we want you to understand. We're also going to be encouraging you to figure out when you're going to be financially free, because in the
Tomorrow.
first week, yes,
Can it be
tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Because if you're not honest about your financial freedom day, you'll be in a lot of trouble. Let me tell you
Yeah.
that now. Yeah.
It's a process, I guess, right?
In week 2, we're going to categorize your spending to increase cash flow. You'll be like, what? How do you increase cash? Because guess what? Most of us don't put our spending in buckets. Okay? So you say, oh, you go fast food or you go supermarket, but that bucket's called food. You know what I mean? You take a taxi, you fix your tire, whatever. That bucket's called transportation. When we create the buckets, we can now analyze with you in the session, in the group, because it's a group coaching session. We can analyze what's happening with your outflow of money. You'll see the fact. And let me tell you something, there's an energy about a group coaching that other types of coaching doesn't have. Sometimes one-on-one, you kind of have a lot of excuses, but for the group, that energy is so lifting. Okay? Now, in week 3, we're going to look at your whole plan. We're going to look at how you're bringing in income. We're going to look at your budget. We're going to look at your debt. Okay, so week 3 is where the rubber hits the road, and it is time for truth. Because for a lot of people, the reason they have so much debt is because their income is limited. Okay. And that's where we need to do the work. Week 4, we want to develop monthly tracking and income and building income ideas. Okay. So again, if you're even do it back at envelope, if you're doing it spreadsheet, if whatever way you're doing it, and we're going to teach you some ways, we want you to do it for the next 12 months. So you've paid for 4 weeks of coaching, yeah, $25 a week. But now I need you, okay, to develop the monthly tracking. And we also want to track your income. Is your income growing each month? That's the question. Okay. So we're going to clean up your debt, but we also want you to do income producing ideas. And so I want you to be very comfortable with that. And that is how we're going to get you going. So we want you to register now. It's financiallyfocussedtv@gmail.com. Let me drop the link, my email in the chat. So you can register now. But we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. Because now we're going to talk about what can 500 US a month do for your family. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just about clearing debt. You've got to grow your income, okay? And so here's some things that I understand. I understand that each family will use a different path to reach this goal. It's so super critical, okay, that you have it. So what are you going to do with this 500 US extra a month? You can pay off your debt. You can invest in REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. You can invest in stocks. You can invest in bonds. You can do Forex trading. There's many ways your pathway will be open once you have this money. So what does the right financial plan mean to you? Again, it's very individual, but let me give you some thoughts. If you can earn 500 US, you'll always win the exchange rate because your money will grow. As one exchange rate deteriorates, the other grows up. So you are earning with a stronger currency. Your family will stay ahead of the families on fixed income earners. Persons who are on a fixed income are always going to be drowning in debt because their money is not growing. And, I have this example that I love to use with the power of 500 US or 77,000 J a month. Okay. So the goal is to save for a house deposit. So that's the example. You may have a different goal. And so what we're saying is you're going to do 2 things every Sunday. Okay. You're going to look to maximize your housing benefits. Oh, let me go back because that's actually a different concept. So every Sunday, you're going to be looking for either a piece of land or a property. And you're going to also be calling real estate agents to see which one you connect with. Okay? That's super, super critical. You're going to do that every Sunday while you're earning 500 US a month. Because if you're not talking to new real estate people, you're not going to know what the affordable housing are. You're not going to be able to jump when maybe your apartment, your dream apartment is on the market, or you may have a dream neighborhood and you call a realtor and they say, listen, a development is coming. And a lot of times developers will give a 30% discount on brand new construction if you pay a deposit up front before they break ground. But you will never know about those developments unless you're speaking to a realtor. Okay? So that's why every Sunday you take up the phone and you call. Okay? That's what you're doing. So you're looking in the paper or you're looking online for what your dream property, your dream neighborhood, your dream land, and you are building your contact base with real estate agents because they're going to open doors for you. Okay? It's amazing. The next thing you're going to do, because remember, you are earning 500 US extra on top of your salary. You're going to maximize your housing benefits. If you're in Jamaica, you have maybe as much as 7.5 million available with the National Housing Trust. And if you can combine that with the 500 US a month, you will have anywhere from a 10 to 30% deposit ready on your dream property. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, so many of us are walking away from existing benefits. We don't even realize what's happening. Okay? I had an experience this week in which something that I thought would have been the hardest thing to achieve was done with such ease. I couldn't believe it. I said to myself, you know what? I take this as a point in life. How many things that are out there that are easy to do, I'm just not doing them. I've convinced myself that they're hard. Okay? So many of us refuse to walk into the housing trust, okay, and say, I'd like an appointment to talk to customer service or some manager and talk about how do I access my benefit. Because if I access my benefit, think about it. If you want, and again I'm using Jamaican dollars, if you want an apartment that costs 30 million, okay, your deposit is supposed to be 3 million, right? But if you are sitting on a housing trust benefit you've never used, that's 7.5 million. I believe that's called a 20% deposit, okay, on your apartment. And then if you are using your ability to earn US a month, I think that's called mortgage payment. So a lot of us are allowing property to pass us by because we're not acting. This is what I think. I could be wrong. I'd love somebody to tell me yay or nay. Okay? Moving on. Now, remember, you can also clean up your credit score. But here is the neat thing. You see, when you learn to earn 500 US a month and you build your investment portfolio, you can borrow against yourself and no one checks your credit score. Did you know that? You'll never have a check. And so, ladies and gentlemen, learning to earn 500 US, 77,000 Jamaican a month opens so many doors. I promise you that as your financial coach, I can get you into property and I can get you into an investment portfolio in 36 months. I promise you that because I've done it for myself, I've done it with other clients, right? It's just a question of are you willing to act? Because I can tell you, I have followed my clients to their lawyer's office. I've followed them to the bank. Okay? So this is not me just talking. This is me having done it live and in living color. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not for you to say, oh my God, my debt is terrible. My life is over. You realize that you could have the worst credit score. But if you have an investment portfolio that is growing, you still can borrow against it to buy land, to buy a car, pay back other loans. So many things can be done. Ladies and gentlemen, so many of us are wasting opportunities, wasting. Okay, so imagine how far 500 US a month can carry you. I'm not saying it's easy because you have to rise above the aggravations of life, okay? You have to rise above people who may be in your space that don't want you to grow. I get that. But if you're ready to clear your debt, if you're ready to buy property, if you're ready to grow your investment portfolio, I invite you to imagine, just lie down in your bed and imagine how far 500 US a month can carry you. Okay? That's what I want you to do. Now, Miss Bridge, I put your face on the screen. I want you, yes, ma'am. I want you to just talk. I mean, I've been rattling on. I just want you to talk about what barrier breakers, what is this about? And what do you think about what I said about the 500 US?
I think you put the 500 US in a really great perspective because, something about mentality that tells people I can't possibly walk to the bank with $100. And for
Right.
some people, $77,000 is, I couldn't possibly waste time and go to the bank with that. Some people it's $100, some people it's $50. And what people fail to understand is the power of the compound effect. It's one of my
Right.
favorite things to talk about, because anything done consistently can really be awesome. I love to. We're in the zone of the world championships and sports, and I tell people, and I'm right now on a property that has a music studio. So when it comes to people performing and winning, whether it's in sports, whether it's get a bus in music and win, whether it is in your finances, it's not necessarily the smartest person who wins. It's the
Right.
person who is teachable and coachable, and the person who takes consistent action and
Right.
compounds their learning over time. So
Right.
the sharpest guy on the football field and the big Don Juan may not be the one that scores the most goal because of ego and indiscipline. You don't go to practice, whatever. And the little guy who has less talent
Right.
outshine someone with born talent or knowledge or access, or people say you're born with gold spoon. You don't have to be born with a gold spoon to outdo and outperform someone who has, just because of how you position yourself to learn and grow, and then take what you're learning and put it into consistent action. So that's
Right.
what I have to say about that $500. It might look a little, but understand, if we're teaching a way to make 500, understand that can be 2x, 5x, or 10x. The program
Right.
and the way that you can earn $500, you could easily earn 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 with the same principle you took to make 500. But the way you laid out 500 shows people that, listen, do not scorn, or despise small beginnings. Take it and
Right.
have a plan. It's about financial organization and a plan. And if you plan and just do the steps, wow, buying a house, buying a $30 million property, tapping into free resources that's there for the taking, taking action, overcoming fear is great. And speaking of overcoming fear, that's what Barrier Breakers is about. 2 years ago, when I formed a community, a team of people, I wondered, what could I name this group that would be indicative of what the group as a whole wants to achieve, and how we can impact anyone we come in contact with. And Barrier Breakers came to me. I prayed about it, and that's the name that came to me, is Barrier Breakers, because I was also coming out of a situation where I had to overcome some things and get emotionally strong and get
Right.
mentally strong. And
Right.
once I thought about breaking those barriers, I realized that I could apply that to anything. So if you wanted to start a business, there are barriers to overcome. If you wanted to lose weight, there are barriers to overcome. And many of those barriers are not the things we think. You want to overcome losing weight, and you think the barrier is stop eating food. You think the barrier is food is in my fridge, when it's probably coming from an emotional or mental place. Maybe it's comfort food,
Right.
maybe it's stress eating. So there's usually more to what we think is the barrier, which is what you talked about a while ago, is that people think something is hard. And if you just only try to do it, you'd realize, oh, it's not so bad after all,
No,
you
let
know?
me tell you something. Just
So,
driving. Maybe you need
mhm,
to drive with accountability partner. Drive, park,
yeah,
and say, "Listen, we're here to talk about our housing benefit. How can we get it?"
yeah,
And boom, there is your deposit on your apartment.
just like that. Networking, conversation, trying, if you try, you reach out, answers come, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. If you just try, there's someone there
Yes,
to help you. And so
yes,
Barrier Breakers is about that. Breaking whatever it is that you fear, that you have doubts about, or a skill that you need. You're not competent in an area, learn it and break barriers so that you can get to the next level. And if you have education, do it. Do the class,
yes,
go to class, get the skill. You have debt, get counseling, get help, save. Cut
yes,
spending, whatever you need to do.
yes, yes,
Break that
yes.
barrier that you think, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. break the barrier because you can. Yes, you
Yes.
absolutely can. And I like what you said a while ago about accountability partners because we have experienced that, Denise.
Mm-hmm.
Us three musketeers. When someone can share your journey with you and you can encourage and get encouragement, that's another great way to break barriers, is to get the perspective of other people, is to see yourself in a different way and see your situation in a different way, that you realize, Jesus, not the end of the world. It just needs a little strategy and you can get over it.
That's
So
right.
yeah, let's break some barriers, girl. Let's
Yes.
I invite everybody on the call to desire to change and get to the next level, and know that you're going to have barriers to break, but there are people to help you. There's resources you can tap into, and you just need to make the decision to put one foot in front of the other and take the first step.
So, Miss Bridge, I just want to thank you for that. And again, if anybody's on a 36-month journey, they're ready to take action. We have a 4-week coaching session. We have so many other tools available to you. And so you just drop a line. The email is in the chat. My name is Denise Williams. I'm here to support you. Miss Bridget with Barrier Breakers is also here to support you. We will see you in the next conversation. Bye.